Section 2.3, number 64. We are told to take this fraction and write it as a complex number in standard form. Complex number in standard form is, again, a plus bi, where we have a real part adding onto an imaginary part. Now, the problem is we have complex numbers on the bottoms of fractions. We don't like complex numbers on the bottoms of fractions. So how do we get rid of those? We multiply by 1 in a clever form. The clever form is the complex conjugate of the bottoms of these, both on the top and the bottom. Okay? Let's try that and see if we need to do anything else. All right, so on the bottom we have a 2 plus I. So if I want to multiply by the complex conjugate, I'm going to have 2 minus I. We don't need that. And then a 2 minus I. Okay? Over here we have a 2 minus I in the bottom, so if I multiply top and bottom by 2 plus I, I've multiplied by the same thing on the top and bottom. So again, I've multiplied by 1 here, I've multiplied by 1 here. I haven't changed the behavior of anything. I am going to change how it looks. Okay? So let's do this. So we multiply top to top and bottom to bottom. Okay, let's get all the proper parentheses in here to make life a little easier to see. So for this fraction, we're going to get a 2i times 2, which is 4i, minus I times 2i. We're going to get, I'm going to write this a little more pedantically this time. We're going to minus 2 times I squared. Okay. On the bottom, we're going to get a 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times I is 2i. 2 times minus I is minus 2i. And minus I times I is going to be minus I squared. Okay? So that's this fraction. Now let's leave that and move on to the next one. We're going to get this 5 times 2 plus I. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times I is 5i. On the bottom, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times I is 2i. 2 times minus I is minus 2i. Minus I times I is minus I squared. All right. We've done the calculations. Let's take a step back and ask the classic question. Can this be simplified? Okay. All right. The one thing I notice on the bottom, since I've multiplied by complex conjugates, I'm looking for this. I have a plus 2i and a minus 2i. Since we're adding and subtracting on the bottom, those cancel. The same thing here, plus 2i and a minus 2i. So those pieces cancel. Okay. Now for the rest of it, I squared, we can replace with a negative 1. I don't have any other I squareds happening on the top. I do have them on the bottom. I squared here is going to be a minus 1. I squared here is also going to be a minus 1. Okay? So let's kind of clean that up. Right? 4i minus a minus is a plus 2. 4 minus a minus 1 is the same thing as 4 plus 1. That's over 5 then. Plus 10 plus 5i. 4 minus negative 1 is the same thing as adding 1, and that's again over 5. Okay? Now, we can add these fractions as they are, right? They're now over the same thing. We got lucky in this case. So let's just add up these two fractions. So we're going to have 4i plus a 5i is a 9i. 10 plus 2 is 12. And these are both over 5. Okay? The common denominators are the same, so that just travels along. Now we want to just separate this into our two pieces. We're going to get a 12 fifths plus 9 fifths. And then the I goes with the 9. So this is the same exact form as our original equation.